Today is Tuesday, July 25th, 2023, and I'm reading 1 Kings chapter 14. I was skimming ahead, just glancing at this chapter, and the word sodomite popped out to me. So it seems like the kingdom is going to keep going downhill in this chapter, but we'll see what happens. It's just interesting how things don't really change, and how government institutions, I've been visiting family in Washington, and there's these huge buildings in Tacoma, the Tacoma Dome, and they're flying a huge American flag up at the top, but then underneath the flag they're flying a pride flag, and it's just blowing my mind how top down the whole gay thing went. And it shows you institutionalized sodomites, that there have been movements in the past to normalize and make societies that embrace sodomy and try to pretend like it's normal and a natural state of things, and something that you see that today it's becoming more than just love is love and let people do what they want in the bedroom. It's not about that anymore. It's about putting it in the public space and about normalizing it and recruiting. It really is about recruiting. I mean, go watch. There's a video on YouTube, who knows if it's still up, where they're going around a gay club and asking all the gay guys, like, hey, when was your first experience? And lo and behold, most gay people are sexually abused at a young age by older sodomites. And that's what people mean when they say that that's how gay people breed, right? Because two dudes can't make a baby together, but they recruit more into their system by abusing young children, and it screws with their brain, and they end up being gay. I mean, of course, it gets deeper than this when you know about the whole Free Martin thing, and this is, of course, why they push this stuff and try to confuse people's minds and normalize it. Oh, well, there's nothing abnormal about being gay, but then they'll never tell you about the whole inverted skeleton thing. Native tribes will tell you that they've always known about two-spirit people with the mind of one gender, but they're born with the other sexual organ. Just, this hidden knowledge has always been around. It's just, if you're not brought up with that knowledge, the world seems very confusing, but it puts everything into perspective. Because oftentimes there is a grain of truth to even what may seem as the most psychotic things that they try to push, like the gay being normal thing. They're trying to hide the prevalence of free martins in the society, because it's inevitable when you have a large population of free martins that many of them will be attracted to men, because they're actually women that have been flipped. Anyways, transvestigation is a huge topic. The whole Free Martin thing, I haven't forgotten about it. I assume that's still why most people even know about my channel, is because of videos I did on that subject. So I still think it's an important subject. People have talked to me about anatomy videos I've done in the past. I still think that it's relevant, and maybe I'll approach it in the future. I don't know. Anyways, I just got that ramble out, so let's start the video. Chapter 14, 1 Kings. At that time, Abijah the son of Jeroboam fell sick, and Jeroboam said to his wife, Arise, I pray thee, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam, and get thee to Shiloh. Behold, there is Ahijah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people. And take with thee 10 loaves and cracknels. What a lovely word. And cracknels, and a cruse of honey, and go to him, and he shall tell thee what shall become of the child. And Jeroboam's wife did so, and arose, and went to Shiloh, and came to the house of Ahijah. But Ahijah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age. And the Lord said unto Ahijah, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam cometh to ask a thing of thee for her son, for he is sick. Thus and thus shalt thou say unto her, for it shall be, when she cometh in, that she shall feign herself to be another woman. And it was so, when Ahijah heard the sound of her feet, as she came in at the door, that he said, Come in, thou wife of Jeroboam, why feignest thou thyself to be another? For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. Go tell Jeroboam, thus saith the Lord. Is that her response there? For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. I'm not sure. Go tell Jeroboam, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, For as much as I exalted thee from among the people, and made thee prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments, and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which was right in mine eyes, but hast done evil above all that were before thee, for thou hast gone and made thee other gods and molten images to provoke me to anger, and hast cast me behind thy back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisseth against the wall. Very interesting. And will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung, till it be all gone. So with the pisseth and the dung, taking away the dung, I can only imagine that this is being literal here. That, I'm just saying, because sometimes you don't know if a word used to mean the same thing that it means today. I can't imagine that pisseth means anything other than how we would interpret it today. Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat, for the Lord hath spoken it. Arise thou therefore, get thee to thine own house, and when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die. And all Israel shall mourn for him, and bury him, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave. Because in him there is found some good thing toward the Lord God of Israel in the house of Jeroboam. Moreover, the Lord shall raise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what? Even now. Very interesting. The diction and the way that this chapter is written seems strikingly different. Just interesting to read. For the Lord shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves, provoking the Lord to anger. And he shall give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam, who did sin, and who made Israel to sin. And Jeroboam's wife arose and departed, and came to Tirzah, and when she came to the threshold of the door, the child died. And they buried him, and all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by the hand of his servant Ahijah the prophet. You know what this is really reminding me of? Because I was reading because the last chapter was talking about Hellenistic things, I guess, maybe. I know that in other parts of the Bibles, they talk about Hellenistic Jews, and I mean, there's all sorts of things that could be said. It reminds me of all the Jews today that are basically atheist. A lot of Jews, they don't really follow their religion at all. They just follow the mainstream whatever. And today, the mainstream whatever is atheism means you're super smart. So Jews, they love to use their religion and their culture as like a shield for things. But then they'll, in public, they'll talk whatever's the popular thing of the day, and whatever makes them come off as the most super smart. Oh, we have all these traditions and stuff and religion and stuff. Oh, but no, I'm actually atheist. So many Jews today are like that. It's incredible. And same thing with the Hellenistic Jews. Tons of Jews just abandoned their religion and just did whatever was happening at the time. They followed the Greek pantheon or whatever, worshiping golden calves. There was another thing I was going to say. Anyways. And they buried him, the child. And all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by the hand of his servant of Ahijah the prophet. And the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, how he warred, and how he reigned, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. And the days which Jeroboam reigned were 22 years, and he slept with his fathers. And Nadab his son reigned in his stead. And Rehoboam the son of Solomon reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah in Ammonitis. So very rare for women's, actually their names to be present in the Bible. It's a very big honor, or sets them apart for sure. Just a friend of mine has a theory that women actually were just very cautious about letting their name get out there, and that women wanted privacy and they didn't want their name to be out there for many reasons. And I think that's actually an interesting perspective, because women and men are just different, and that's one of the lies they try to tell today. But of course, the grain of truth to that lie is the mixed up, muddled up, shook up world of today. Men will be women, women will be men, which makes it all get confusing. But there really is something fundamentally different about men and women. And that could be a part of why a lot of women's names are not in the Bible. And yeah, so one interesting thing that a woman has said is that their perspective that they put it in is, think of all the slandering that happens to Mary Magdalene, and all the ridiculous theories come up about her and the slandering that happens to her. Yeah, anyways, I just know somebody that was like, women probably just didn't want to be slandered and harassed, and it's just much more of a female thing to not want your name out there. Anyways, that's just a theory. It comes up, I just think of it whenever women actually get named in the Bible. It might not necessarily be an implication of women had zero rights back then. It might just be a modesty thing and a protection thing. And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins which they had committed, above all their fathers had done. Oh man, my phone's about to die. I'll finish. For they also built them high places, images and groves, on every high hill and under every green tree. Hey, I thought I read something about sodomites. Where? Anyways, oh, they must be on the next one. And there were also sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishak king of Egypt came up against Jerusalem. And he took away the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all. And he took away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made. And King Rehoboam made in their stead brazen shields, and committed them into the hands of the chief of the guard, which kept the door of the king's house. And it was so, when the king went into the house of the Lord, that the guard bare them, and brought them back into the guard chamber. Now the rest of the acts of Rehoboam, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Judah? And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all their days. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And his mother's name was Naamah in Ammonitis, and Abijam his son reigned in his stead. All right, my phone's about to die. I love you, everyone, and God bless everyone.